Hi guys, today I wanted to make a video and it's going to be titled A Conventional Job versus Unconventional Job, and why in my personal opinion I feel the unconventional job is the better choice to go with, at least in the future. Alright, to begin with, it's real simple. I'm going to explain what the unconventional job and the conventional job is. An unconventional job, which is about what 5% of the population does. An unconventional job is real simple. It's sales jobs, it's entrepreneurs, it's people who work for themselves, and as much as they can produce, they make that much money for how well they work for themselves. And you make strict commission. There's no flat rate, there's no hourly rate where somebody else is paying for you for working for them. You're working for yourself. That's an unconventional job. Now, a conventional job is the other thing, where you work for somebody else, you make $8 an hour every single hour working for this person, guaranteed no matter what happens, you're making this money. And you're supposed to work 40 hours a week, and you basically make a set income every single week, no matter what you do. Now, in my opinion, why I feel the unconventional job is the better job to go with, it's real simple, is because on this example I wrote here today, is we work a 40-hour work week with both jobs real quick. 40-hour work week with both jobs. So we're going to start with the conventional, actually. So what 95% of people do, you work one day at your job. You're working a total of 5 hours on your shift, right? And you're making a rate of, what, $8 an hour? So that means after your 5-hour shift at your job, you make a grand total of $40. Now that's a pretty good deal, right? You worked 5 hours at your job, you made $40 guaranteed before taxes. I mean, you're going to get raped by taxes anyways and lose like 17% of your check, so you still make $40 before tax, which isn't bad. Now, with the conventional job, after 1 week of working over 40 hours, you're making a grand total of $320 in the first week. Isn't bad either, right? Now you're committing 40 hours of your time. And now this is where I hate conventional jobs. This is where conventional jobs stop sounding good, and this is where they suck. So, at your conventional job, you work with other conventional workers, you work with other employees, and you tend to be the person who works the hardest. You're the guy who shows up early. You're the guy who shows and stays late. You're the guy who does overtime every single week. You're the guy who's always on time. You're the guy who always is reliable and is always there for his job. And you work your ass off at it. I mean, you show up, you do every little freaking task that you're meant to do at your job perfectly, on time, organized. You're the best at your job, and you work really hard. And you're making $8 an hour. Now, the guy next to you you're working with doesn't give a fuck. He's lazy, he shows up late every single week, he doesn't care, and he still makes the exact same rate as you do, no matter how hard he works and you work. Doesn't it sound like bullshit? At least to me it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. This is why I hate conventional jobs. Why should I work as hard as possible for a job where I'm guaranteed the money anyways, versus somebody else who's next to me working nowhere near as hard, is lazy as fuck, doesn't give a shit, and they're making just as much money as I do every single week. So over the course of a month, you make $320 a week and times that by 4, you get $1,280 for a month. You make that grossingly a month. Every single month. Now, of course, you work there for 3-4 months, they might give you a raise. You know, you get a 25-cent fucking raise. Ooh, you're making $8.25 an hour, you're going places. Thing is, though, you look with the numbers and you don't make that much more. And this is why in today's society, I don't get why 95% of people look at this as this is the answer to go with. You make $8 an hour, no matter what, which is good. You make money, right? That's what the goal is. But the goal is to make enough money. And the thing is, when you're only making $1,280 a month, that overhead, you don't have enough to pay for a house, to pay for a car, to pay for your family, to pay for food, to pay for plumbing, to pay for electricity, to pay for bills, to pay for cable, to pay for everything else that you need in your little life. The fact that you're making this much at $8 an hour is not going to cover the rest of that. Now, the unconventional job, what I believe is the better job. What I personally believe, why I feel that this job is going to be the best choice to go with for any person going into the workforce. Because you know why? Because with this job, you're working for somebody else. With this job, you're working for yourself. And if you're somebody who's motivated, goal-oriented, can work hard for themselves, realizing that it's only them that's holding them back, this job is for you. And here are the numbers, all right? So this is what 5% of people do. And this is why this job can be the highest paying job you'll ever get in your life, or it could be the lowest because the money isn't guaranteed. Money here is based off strict commission about how well you can produce, sell a product, get somebody to invest money in something, and convince them to do it. And this is why this job could be the highest paying job ever or the lowest paying job. And it works both ways. It's a double-sided sword. Now, it's real simple. In a work week, let's just say you work 40 hours, the same exact amount of time like you did your conventional job. And on your commission, you make $32 on every time you sell whatever product you're selling, anything. And you work 5 hours of working, and let's just say, from your conventional job that you were at, where you had to mop floors, help like make food for people, you had to serve somebody, you had to shine somebody's fucking shoes for $8 an hour. At this job, if all you had to do in those 5 hours like you work this job was just convince 3 people, just talk to people, have a conversation with people, and just talk to 3 people and convince just 3 individuals to invest their money, you make $96. Just 3 people. Now, of course, I'm just going off 3 people because it's like an hour and a half a person or something like that. But in a perfect world, this system over here, the unconventional job, would work. But we don't live in a perfect world, which is the unconventional jobs issue, is that when you deal with an unconventional job, you have to deal with people. And people by far are the biggest issue with this job. Because that's all this job is people. It's about how many people you can talk to in a certain amount of time. Now, say you just talk to 5, or not just 5 people, you get 3 people to invest their money in this product, you make $96. Now, this in those same 5 hours where you worked your fucking ass off, your sweat breaking your back for somebody else who doesn't give a shit, they fire you tomorrow and replace you with somebody else. This job where you worked for yourself and broke your back, you doubled your money, almost doubled it in half versus this job. Now, let's go down here over the course of the week. Say you do this every single day, just like your regular job. You work 5 hours a day, every single day, just like at this job would, 40 hours a week. And you convince 24 people to invest their money. Over the course of this week here, you'd be grossing over $768 in a week. Wow. I look at this number, I work the exact same amount of time as hard as possible for somebody who guarantees you the money, I only make $320. Only. That's awful. I make double of doing this versus doing that, doing a hell of a lot less work. And then over the course of a month, I almost triple what you make here. Because over the course of a month, if I can do that consistently, persistently, and stay at it, I can make a grossing of over $3,000 a month, which then I could afford my car, I could afford my house, I can afford to pay for my family, I can afford to pay for my luxuries that I enjoy in life, like my cable, my electronics, my toilet paper, everything like that. And the thing is, this is what I just don't get. It's just like people work so hard at their jobs. I feel bad for these people. They take so much pride working their $8 an hour jobs, and they break their fucking spines for people up here that own the business, that are making this job. They're doing the unconventional. They're the people, the business owners, are the ones here. The conventional employees here. And the thing is, if people work their fucking ass off 40 hours a week, and you're telling me somebody who works 40 hours a week at $8 an hour doesn't make enough money and it's barely above poverty line? Is under the poverty line. Is under the poverty line working over 40 hours a week? That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And the things with this job, your boss doesn't give a fuck about you. At $8 an hour, he doesn't matter. You might be a good employee. You might give you a raise after 3 to 4 months. But the thing is with this job, with the unconventional job, if you're able to convince just enough people after a certain amount of time, so you get 5 people, your commissions are going to go up. Your commissions are going to fucking skyrocket. Your commissions could easily become triple that. You can go from making $30 an hour to making $96 a person. Just imagine that, tripling this number to making over $9,000 a month versus only making $1,000 guaranteed. But again, this is the problem why people hate this job. People think this fucking unconventional job is the Antichrist. Why it's the worst fucking thing in the world. Why devil told me never do sales. You're the fucking devil if you fucking do this because, you're going to fucking manipulate people. That's what it's about. No, it's not. It's about just having a conversation and showing people a value and a product that you really feel is helping them. With this job, though, conventional job, your Kmart jobs, your Walmart jobs, your fucking fast food restaurant jobs, where you work your fucking ass off every single fucking day for 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months, and then they give you a little measly 25-cent raise. What the hell is 25-cent raise going to do for you when you have to pay for everything else in life? It's going to do absolutely nothing. And that this is why this country was founded on entrepreneurs like Adam Smith, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Edison, inventors who made the decision to work for themselves and think. The difference between these two jobs too is that one actually makes you think and one makes you do. Because the great thing about society nowadays is that we are conditioned as beings to be told what to do. We have to be told what to do. Every single thing we do, every single meaningless little task that we do with our jobs. Unlike this job, where if you actually thought and you think through the process, you can make this work. But again, this isn't a perfect world. I understand that this job and this money here, this $3,000, isn't guaranteed. You might get it, you might not get it. But the thing is, if you actually stay persistent at this job and you stick with it long enough, this job will work. It has to. It has to. It works for other people. Why can't it work for you? And the only reason why it doesn't work for you is because you quit. You tried for 2 fucking days and you quit. You realize when 3 people say no to you, you're just heartbroken and say, fuck it doesn't work, I give up. And then you go back to this little shit job where you like the guaranteed money because it's safe. Because people love the guaranteed money. And the money isn't guaranteed, what's the point? I mean, really, if a car dealership offered you this job where if every single month all you had to do was clean every single car, and you did this consecutively in their lot, you cleaned every single car theirs for 6 months straight, and at the end of the 6 months they would give you a brand new car, would you do it? Would you do it? Would you clean their cars for 6 months straight if they offered you a brand new Mercedes-Benz? If you cleaned all their cars for 6 months straight. Now, of course, you do it for the first month, you don't get anything for it. You do it for the second month, you don't get anything for it. You do it for the third month, you don't get anything for it. Fourth, fifth, and sixth. Finally, at the 6th month of your hard-ass work of showing up there every single day, cleaning their cars, they give you the brand new Mercedes. Now, that's not guaranteed, right? Because you stuck at it, you were persistent. This is why this job, and this is why this job is better. Now, the only reason why these jobs exist is because back in the 1920s, 1930s, when the Great Depression finally hit, when we had all the superpowers like Henry Ford, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, they came up with a plan. Well, Rockefeller said a quote, real simple, is I don't want a generation of thinkers, I want a generation of workers. And I guess Rockefeller got exactly what he wanted because now today's society, we are exactly what he envisioned. People are simply working and doing. No one is thinking. People don't think anymore. They just do. Told what to do because they need to be told what to do. And that's why when people get out of school and get into the real world and start seeing how people really are, it's eye-opening. It's amazing because you see why the people are successful here, why the 5% are the millionaires, the billionaires that own the fucking world, and why these people work $8 an hour for the rest of their lives. That's my story, guys. You guys have a great day.